Right, the slice golf shot. You don't want to hit that shot anymore. It is the worst golf shot you can hit. It starts to the left. This is for a right-handed golfer. It starts to the left and then curves stupidly to the right-hand side. You end up losing distance, you end up losing accuracy, and you're just scratching your head wondering, why the hell is that going over there anymore? You start aiming more left and the problem gets worse. So what I'm going to do is do a 3-part video to help you fix this slice once for all. In the first video, we're going to talk about the basic stuff, really, the grip, the boring stuff, let's talk about it. The grip, the stance, the posture, the ball position, stuff like that. They're really key things, but the things that you might go, yeah, you know what, mine's all right. It might not be, so watch the first video to check that. The second video, we're going to talk about how to get to the top of the backswing and the transition down on the way back into the ball. That's going to make a huge difference to stop you slicing the shot. And then the third video will just be tying everything up. We're going to talk about the follow through and then we're going to execute the shot. A little perfect golf shot, he says early on in the video. So I'm trying to hit a really perfect straight golf shot, even one with a bit of draw. So the slice. The slice comes from cutting across the ball, and the club face is a little bit close to that, but it's close to your target but open to your path. So what we've got to try and fix is your grip first. Your grip might be an issue. You might think it's not an issue, but it probably is an issue. So first thing I want you to do is make sure you've got your club nice and lined up. Make sure the logo on the club is nice and lined up. I've got my Ping logo here straight. From there, I want you to take the left hand on. This is obviously for right-handed golfers. If you are left-handed, I'm not discriminating you. Please just do swap the information around, do it the opposite way. So fingers around first. Hand over the top, and I want you to see 2 knuckles on the back of that left hand. Now, if you're not 100% sure, get a marker pen and pop two dots on that glove. So making sure you can always see those 2 knuckles. Also, you should see that the thumb and your index finger is running up here towards your right shoulder. That's really key. Now, the right hand goes on to the side, and the bit between the 2 padded sections of your thumb should sit on the side of your left thumb, your leading thumb. From there, the fingers go around. Now, I interlock the hands, but you don't have to do that. You can overlap, you can do whatever you want. I'm not really bothered about the back bit, but just making sure that you've got 2 knuckles. The V here is pointing up towards your right shoulder, and then the right hand sits on top, making sure this V also points up towards your right shoulder. They're really key points. It might feel uncomfortable, but believe me, stick with it. That's what's going to keep this straight and square, okay? You don't want this sliding all over the show. So, from that point, we're going to talk about width of stance and ball position. Now, ball position with the driver should be quite a bit forward in your stance. You're looking at trying to get the ball pretty much in line, just inside your left foot. So your front foot if you're a left-handed golfer. So keeping it there. The stance also wants to be nice and wide. You want to try and get the stance to be wider than your shoulders. So a good way of measuring it, pop your club pad to the side of your feet, and that should be about the same width as your shoulders. If you can't do that, check in a mirror, ask a friend, you know, make sure you get that stance correct, because that's key to keeping your balance and helping you create as much power as you possibly can. Got those? Good. Next, we're going to talk about distance away and posture. So once I've put the club down on the floor and I've got either the grip that you had currently, because it's perfect like I showed you in the video, or my new grip that I've just shown you, get your new grip, get your stance nice and wide, your ball position forward, and from there, a couple of checkpoints. You want your hands directly below your chin, your bum out, and your back straight. Now, the takeaway is a key part of this initiation of how we're going to get to the top of the backswing and how we're going to hit much better golf shots. So listen carefully to this bit. Once you've into this first setup, we want to take the takeaway nice and wide, so I'm almost stretching it out towards you in the camera, but in myself I'm staying very straight. So even though I'm taking the club wide, I'm not following it. So I'm staying nice and straight, but I'm taking that club nice and wide. Now, a good checkpoint for this is once you've got to about hip height, about halfway, the club face should be just slightly leaning over. So you can see how the toe is just in front of the heel, it's just leaning over a touch. That's really, really important, because that means the club face is nice and straight. So we've got wide and keeping that takeaway really key. Now, before you move on to the next bit, practice and rehearse all that what we've covered today. It's so important. Make sure you get your grip, make sure you get your stance, your ball position, your posture, your takeaway. There's lots of information there to be had, so go away, practice those areas, watch video number 2, part 2, where we're going to talk about the top of the backswing and how we're going to start to bring it down a lot better. I've been Rick Shiels down here at Trafford Golf Centre in Manchester. You can check me out on Facebook, Twitter and subscribe to the channel, and join me in part 2 to carry on how we're going to fix this slice.